Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron Channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, I have a plea for you, and that is to stop thinking about just calories. Before I get into that topic, if you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. The best topic ideas I turn into videos just like this. All right, let's talk about fat loss. Let's talk about weight loss. Let's talk about regaining our health, maintaining our weight, all those things. Calories are very important. Monitoring calories are very important. Some people like to disagree with that statement, but we live in a world that is just filled with choices and options, and it's so easy to overeat that it becomes very important for us as a culture to kind of swing back and monitor things a little bit more closely than we did in the past. People will make the argument, in the past, people didn't monitor calories because, and they did okay. That's true, because in the past, people were wandering the earth, settling whatever land they were settling, or living wherever they were living, and scrounging for food and working all day long and working for their food. And it was generally very difficult to get obese because of the limited food choices and because of the energy expenditure to get that food. Now, with that established, let's talk about calories. We're counting calories. We're focused on calories. It's a very calorie-centric culture. But one of the issues with just focusing on calories is that we forget about health. We forget about quality of food. And I want to encourage everyone in this video not just to think about calories, but to start to think about quality of food. Yes, you want to have your calories in a reasonable zone to maintain your weight. Most of the time, you're going to have some times when you go over a little bit for celebrations and whatnot. But with those calories, don't just think about calories. Think about food quality, what you're putting in your body. If you're eating 2,000 calories and they're all ice cream and Doritos and Pop-Tarts and things like that, there's not a lot of micronutrients. There's not a lot of quality vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals and things your body needs. These foods are processed. They're processed and made to taste good. They're made to taste good with cheap ingredients like salt, like sugar, like flour, like oils, all that kind of stuff. Cheap fatty oils, sugar, salt, all the stuff that just excites the taste buds, but is cheap to stuff into these foods. Now, certainly some of them have some kind of minimal form of, protein or vegetables or maybe even fruits or whatnot, but they are far from optimal. If you don't just want to focus on calories, you want to focus on being as healthy as possible. And let's face it, at the end of the day, there's so many unhealthy people out there. All you need to do is leave your home and watch, and everybody seems to be unfit, unhealthy, saggy, baggy, crawling out of their cars like it's the greatest Herculean task of the era. You know what I'm saying? And we need to think about more than just calorie intake. We need to think about quality of food. Look at what you're eating. Take inventory of what you're eating. Try to improve your food choices. Try to rely more on single ingredient foods. What are single ingredient foods? Beef. That's a single ingredient food. No additives. It's just beef. Peas. All right, single ingredient food. Peas. I don't eat a lot of peas. I don't even know why I mentioned peas. I don't particularly like peas. Carrots, whatever it is. Single ingredient food. Now, you don't just have to get out raw carrots and munch on those. That's kind of nonsense. Or raw broccoli and munch on those. You can actually learn how to cook and combine these foods into recipes that taste great. So I'm certainly not saying you just slap a bunch of bland food on your plate. That's not the point. We all like to enjoy food, so that's okay. Don't panic. But you need to rely more on healthy foods and unprocessed foods. One of the benefits of relying on unprocessed food is that there is research that single ingredient foods, unprocessed foods, real foods in their real state are harder for the body to process, to digest, and you actually burn more calories than if you're eating a processed food. A processed food with a lot of fat and a lot of sugar and a lot of flour is generally easier for the body to digest. So even though you're getting equal calories, It's actually, you're burning less fuel actually to digest those calories, but that is a rabbit hole. So I want you guys to think about more than just calorie intake. I want you to think about your health, because your health is everything. There's two things that matter right now. For you to be at your 100%. You all have goals, you all have dreams, you all have things you want to do. And to function at that highest level, you need to make sure that your weight is more optimal so you can go out and do the things you want to do, so you have the physical freedom to go do whatever you want and not feel burdened, right? And you also want to feel healthy, because you don't want to wake up. You don't want to encourage getting cancer. You don't want to encourage getting diabetes. You don't want to encourage getting osteoarthritis. And as a culture, we are completely spinning out of control. And the obesity, just being 30 pounds over obese, has become so normal. We think it's okay for the body because everybody else is out there. It's not. So don't just focus on your weight. We have become so weight obsessed as a culture that we have stopped focusing on our health. Take your food choices seriously. And I don't want to hear any excuses. I don't want to hear any excuses that you don't know how to cook or that you don't have the time. That's nonsense. What me and my wife do when we don't have the time to cook is we get up. It takes us approximately 2 minutes. We go to the freezer. We pull out a protein source or 2 protein sources, like a bag of frozen chicken breasts or maybe a half pound of lean turkey breast. We put it in a crock pot. We put in a bag of mixed frozen vegetables. We put in a bag of frozen cauliflower, and we just let it sit there all day. It took us 2 minutes to make all that micronutrient-rich foods. No excuses at all. Your excuses are not valid. Even if you go out for fast food, even if you legitimately don't have the time, you need to spend a couple minutes trying to find the best options. So, just to recap, stop thinking about just calories and start thinking about health as well. Because I've seen it over and over again, even with some of my clients. They focus on calories, and I got to kind of transition them to, okay, now you are focused on calories. That's a good thing. We're focused on some mental strength, some mental discipline, making good choices, not putting yourself in the bad positions in life. When you are in those stressful positions, how to handle them, because we all get in those stressful positions in life where we're tempted, and that doesn't mean we need to give in. So that's a part of the process. But another part of the process, once you start to gain control over what you eat and you start to build a little mental strength and a little bit of discipline, a little bit of willpower, once you reach that stage, you need to take seriously what you are putting in your body. And the reality is, when you start putting in more vegetables, you get actually more food volume, and it's easier to feel satisfied and full. And I would add that with all the micronutrients you're putting in your body, you're probably going to experience fewer cravings. One final point to those of you that don't like vegetables, I don't give a crap. I really don't. But here's the thing that I need you to understand. Most people that I find that don't like vegetables are trying to eat them in some raw, bland state, like they put a glop of like broccoli, cooked broccoli next to their meat, and they're trying to down this like it's some gourmet meal. That's not the way we eat vegetables typically. The crock pot meal I mentioned, where we are dumping a bunch of mixed vegetables in with cauliflower rice, in with our protein sources in the crock pot. We ate that last night for dinner. You can't even tell the vegetables are really in there. Everything kind of get mixed up it's a really good consistency. It's really pleasant to eat. And it's not like you're eating some raw hunk of broccoli. So there are different ways to eat your vegetables. So guys, hope this video has been of some help. If you have any questions or comments, drop them down below. If you made it this far in this video and have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do. I'd appreciate the support. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day.